Welcome back to another video. Today we are in the Great League Fantasy Cup and we got a different team here to try out. We're going to see if we can get some wins with this team. So we're going to be trying out the team featuring the Shadow Dragonite paired with the Registeel and the Shadow Sandslash in the back. So not a Great League. We're going to switch out into the Sandslash. We get met with an even worse matchup here. We're going to be able to throw a Dragonite at least. This potentially could get a shield or some good damage. Our opponent ends up letting it go because they realize that they're going to be able to survive it. So heads up play by them. And now we have no choice when coming to this Dragonair. They potentially have Dragon Pulse, but we're going to just allow it to go through, unfortunately, because that Whimsicott would be able to dominate that Dragonite anyways. So we're going to see if we can win with the Registeel. Our opponent here is going to be able to throw a move. Ends up being the Shadow Flygon here. So we just got hard countered. No way to win this game, unfortunately. This Flygon is going to be able to outpace us, and they are going to be able to have two shields anyway. So this, unfortunately, is not winnable at all, and we just had everything kind of misaligned, unfortunately. If maybe we have grabbed a shield from that Turtonator, maybe we would have had a chance here because a couple of Focus Blasts here potentially could get it into farm down range, but unfortunately, they were just able to line up everything correctly. All right, next game. Let's see if this Shadow Dragonite and Registeel core will work out. And let's see if we can get some wins here. Shadow Dragonite versus the Flygon, much better situation. Expecting them to switch out. They go into their Azumarill. So we're going to go into our Regi. This is going to be a timing thing. We're going to throw this Zap Cannon right before they get to a move. We don't really need to worry about any moves here. Even the Hydro Pump, even though it is good neutral damage, it's not going to KO. So we're just going to allow it to go through. Ice Beam does get revealed. And now we have the full control and advantage. This Focus Blast here might KO from this range. Nope. Still going to be able to survive with a little bit of health. However, we are going to let this go. Ends up only being an Ice Beam. And now we're going to be able to farm down. Okay, our opponent ends up throwing another move here. This is still okay for us because this leaves the Registeel with not a lot of health. We're going to be able to part ways with a Focus Blast of our own. So this is going to get some huge damage, or it's going to get the shield. Our opponent does end up shielding, and now we still have this Shadow Dragonite dealing a ton of fast move damage. Here, we're going to allow this Dragon Claw to go through. It doesn't quite KO, forcing them to use another Dragon Claw. So we're going to shield here, and then we're going to see what's in the back. What is that? Ends up being the Turtonator. So Turtonator here is going to be able to take us out after that Incinerate. However, we are able to grab that last shield, and we have this Turtonator damaged far enough that we think we can take it out with this Drill Run. Because earlier we barely didn't KO this Turtonator, but because we did that extra damage, this should KO, and it does. So GG's our opponent able to win that game with the Shadow Sandslash. Luckily, able to KO after a little bit of fast move damage from that Dragonite. So just like that, the Dragonite being placed in the right spot helps us win that backline versus that Turtonator. And a little bit unlucky for them that the Turtonator couldn't match up against the Regi or the Sandslash. All right, next game. Let's see what we find. We got the Shadow Dragonite versus the Azumarill. Not the lead we want to see. We're going to get out of here. Go into the Regi. Our opponent here does come back in with the Turtonator. All right. We've seen this rodeo before. We're going to go for this Zap Cannon. Because they can survive one anyways, we're going to go and see if we can get a debuff. We do get the debuff. Okay. That's nice. This is going to force them to get a debuff and... Okay, they go for the flamethrower, and unfortunately unable to survive the extra Incinerate. And now they're going to be able to throw a potential Dragon Pulse. Dragon Pulse does get revealed, and now we have to try to farm down with this Sandslash, and that is a ton of damage. So Turtonator in the back still wrecking havoc. Ends up coming back in with the Azumarill. This Azumarill here is basically just going to tank these moves and apply the bubble fast move pressure. But maybe they have, I don't know, Flygon in the back or something. But I don't think we're going to have enough health with this Sandslash, especially since we're already into the red and these bubbles are still doing some good neutral damage. You can see right here, we want to see what's in the back. We're going to lose this game. This is not going to end well for us. Let's see what was in the back anyways. Oh, it ends up being the Empoleon. So that would have been an interesting backline, but it still would have been a bit of a struggle. So we're going to make a little bit of adjustment here. We think the Reggie needs to be swapped out for this Shadow Empoleon. Let's see if it's going to help us out a little bit better. Still a double steal in the back, but just a little bit more different movesets with the Empoleon. So here we have the Empoleon versus this Dragonite. We're going to shield here and play out the one shield because even though they are going to grab a shield from us, we potentially could grab a shield from them, but they decided to switch out into the Goodra. So Goodra here is going to tank this damage, and now we're going to look for the farm down with our Sandslash because we did all that damage is going to be low enough for a good farm down with something that we have. We're going to build up a ton of energy with our Sandslash here. We know they still have the Empoleon. It's kind of looking like a double dragon in the bag. This is a Empoleon double dragon line, most likely. So that's the read I'm making here. We're going to go for this Ice Punch. It doesn't grab the shield, so our opponent definitely is saving shields for something in the bag. More indication that it is going to be the dragon, but there's the shield. So nice call by them grabbing the farm down, and now we have to see if we can win this game with this 2 remaining Pokemon. We're going to go into our Dragonite to tank the move. We know that they had a ton of energy. They go for the Peck under charge. We got our own Empoleon here to match their Empoleon. They're going to throw a move, ends up being the Hydro Cannon. This Hydro Cannon doesn't quite KO. We're looking for the farm down, and there's the Giratina. So Giratina in the back is going to apply a lot of fast move pressure. We're going to throw the Peck, and we are going to be able to get to another Peck, thankfully. And this is going to get the last shield, probably. Our opponent is going to farm us down, and all we have is the Dragonite, and we're looking for the farm down, hopefully. Ominous Wind does get used, and do we have enough energy? And we are able to snipe them with the Shadow Dragon Breath. So GG's to our opponent, the Shadow Dragonite, cleaning up the backline for us for the win. Ooh, that was a close game. All right, next game, let's see what we find. We got the Shadow Dragonite versus the Azumarill again. Okay, this is not good. We're going to switch out. We do go into our Sandslash here, and let's see what they are going to be able to do. We are going to have to consider shielding here, but we decide to let it go. Ends up only being the play rough, thankfully. Our opponent here is building up a ton of energy. We're going to throw this drill run back at this Azumarill. Looks like they don't want to switch out just yet. We're going to throw in timing here. Our opponent does switch out into the Kartana. So this Kartana here doesn't necessarily want to take that drill run either. So that was an interesting switch. They come back in with their Giratina, so we actually have a situation where we can win this game now. Going to go into our Dragonite here, and this is dealing a ton of damage. We're going to throw up a shield, and we're looking for the farm down after this point here. Uh-oh. No! Is this really happening to us? Uh-oh. Is this the invisible shield? No way. We had a situation where we could have won the game, I think, because we potentially could have farmed down this Giratina. After this shield, we still remember that they had the Azumarill, I believe, and we have the Shadow, we still have the Empoleon, and that's going to deal pretty good. So this is a little bit unfortunate. Our game ended up lagging out or maybe just quitting, and we won't ever know. But let us know what you think. Would we have won the game or not? And hope you enjoyed the video.